The first ring I ever made was this style, the bead hold ring. I mean, you can call it a bead hug ring, anything you want. So we start off with about 5-6 inches, depending on how big you want the ring to be. 5 inches for me, I'm an M size, so that's plenty, and I'll have left over. And then you wrap it around your ring mandrel to the size that you want it to be, so that the wires go over on each side, and then you cut the two ends, leaving the middle wire for the ring shank. And this gives you a gap, and then you create small little circles with the ends of the wire, so just tiny circles. And obviously I already know what I'm going to put in, so it depends. If you're putting one bead in, you don't want to take so much wire away, so this is completely really dependent on what you're going to make your focal point of your ring. And now I'm bending those circles to a right angle so that they sit upright against that middle wire. So I'm going to put it back on to the ring mandrel so that I can make sure that those little circles are sitting at 90 degrees. So those are going to be the size of the bead you want to put in there. And say your bead is just too small, you could add 2 little seed beads on either side just to fill up that gap. But I'm going to do 3 little beads in a row. So I'm taking these beautiful beads from Charmer's Gems that I've been given. I've got white topaz and I've got some pink opal. And I'm using the 0.4mm binding wire. So what you do, and it's the same with whatever you want, whatever bead you want to hug at the center point, you start wire wrapping just on one side of those little loops, of one of those loops. So you're going to be wrapping and wrapping and wrapping right up to that loop. So you either, I mean, if you don't like wrapping, then you only do 3 or 4 of these wraps and then bring it through the whole of that loop you've made. But it's actually a feature of this ring that you sort of do a bit of wire wrapping, and that's part of the feature of the ring. So I've wire wrapped a bit, I'm scooching it all up, making sure there's no big gaps, and then I'm going to cut off the end. I keep the cut end on the outside of the ring so that it doesn't, if it ends up on the inside, then when you're putting your finger through and eventually if it starts lifting up, then you're going to scratch your finger. So bring that wire wrapped area right up to that loop and then push the end of the wire, the wrapping wire, through the loop. Do this very gently so you don't get any kinks in it, and bring it tight up, and then thread your chosen bead or beads. So I'm going for 3 because I've made that gap big enough. So 3 small 6mm beads go in, they'll fit there just snugly, and then I post it back through the other side loop, and that fits just right. So there's the hold, or there's the hug. The beads get hugged, and then you wire wrap on the other side. So the same thing, and you just need to squeeze everything tight at this point. Continue wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and you roughly want to wrap the same amount on each side so that it looks even. So I'm just wrapping, and then I'll have to look and see if I've done enough. And you're always scooching it up, always flattening it out. See, I've got about that much on that side, so I've got to do the same on the other. So again, just keep going until it looks roughly even, and then you can cut off the end and then just neaten the whole thing up. So there we go. I mean, obviously I've done it quite quickly for the demo, but I would spend a bit longer if it was a commission, or I was making it to sell. But these little rings are so quick to make. So now because I've manhandled it, it's probably got distorted and misshaped. Put it back onto the mandrel and just make sure that those, the back wires are stretched again with the hammer. So by stretching it, you hammer it, and then just check all those scooched wires are nice and neat and everything is work hardened. It just increases the wearability of the ring by doing all this, because you don't want it to fall apart too quickly, and this just strengthens it and tempers the wires as you do it. So, and there you have it. It's all ready to go. So you can match any outfit with any bead color, with small, tiny little beads. You could go further around the ring, obviously, but I just like the center being done. So enjoy making your own versions. Thank you for watching.